The ambulance radio crackled. All units, Palisades, fire, jumping containment lines, Malibu Canyon road blocked, multiple civilians trapped. Amelia hesitated. Emergency crews took such situations very seriously. At that moment, trauma surgeon Dr. Amelia Harrington was monitoring vital signs in the back of an ambulance during post-surgery transport of Mrs. Leclerc, the 47th burn victim she had treated nonstop for 18 hours at St. Mary's Medical Center due to the third day of the ongoing Palisades fire. The ambulance, filled with advanced life support equipment, reflected a typical fire emergency transport atmosphere. Dr. Harrington, what's that smoke ahead? Asked EMT paramedic Oliver nervously, seeing thick smoke plumes. That's not good, the radio crackled. The fire jumped containment, Amelia said in a calm but alert voice to Oliver. Should we take the alternate route? Ambulance driver Isabel replied in a concerned tone. Too late. We're already in the fire zone, Amelia said in a focused manner, but she had already shifted into a completely different mental state. Unlike other trauma surgeons, Amelia knew wildfire behavior patterns and emergency evacuation procedures completely. Isabel, pull over. I see a family trapped in that burning house. In the next 30 minutes, everyone on Malibu Canyon Road would learn who Dr. Amelia Harrington really was, because wildfire rescue operations and fire zone evacuations were not foreign to her at all. When she heard the sound of flames and saw those familiar wildfire smoke patterns through the ambulance windows, Amelia's movement changed. Her posture changed. Even her hands moved differently, as if she had become a completely different person. Welcome to Hidden Legends. Before continuing with this powerful story, tell us in the comments which city you're watching from today. And if you believe stories like this should be told, hit that subscribe button. Dr. Amelia Harrington was a 4-year-old trauma surgeon who had been working at St. Mary's Medical Center in Los Angeles for 6 years. She worked in the emergency department, dealing with the city's most critical medical cases. She was calm, reliable, someone who could always perform the right medical intervention at the right time. Dr. Amelia is our lifesaver, said head nurse Beatrice Sinclair. When working with her, we know everything is under control, even in the most critical trauma cases. But Amelia's controllability came from very different places than a normal surgeon's experience. Other doctors found Amelia's response to emergency situations strange. Amelia, how do you stay so systematic in the most stressful situations? They would ask. Training, Amelia would say quietly. Every situation requires a methodical approach and precise execution. This training came from a 10-year CAL FIRE career fire captain, incident commander, wildfire suppression operations. Amelia had conducted rescue operations in California's most dangerous fire zones. Dr. Amelia Harrington's real story began 16 years ago. She had joined CAL FIRE at age 18. Since childhood, Amelia had been interested in wildfire response, emergency rescue, life-saving under extreme conditions, and civilian protection operations. I want to save people in the most dangerous fire situations, she had told the CAL FIRE recruiter. After basic firefighter training, she received advanced wildfire suppression, then incident command system, ICS, and emergency medical services certification. She has shown exceptional performance, catching CAL FIRE Command's attention. The fire captain selection process was the toughest. Emergency training, wildfire behavior, rescue operations, emergency evacuation, crisis management. Amelia had managed to rank in the top 10 among female fire captains in history. During her 10 years of active duty, Amelia served in various dangerous regions of California. Major wildfires in Napa Valley, Sonoma County, Riverside, emergency response team, civilian evacuation missions, fire suppression operations, search and rescue. Amelia's specialty was civilian rescue and emergency evacuation. Her most critical missions were residential fire rescues, house fires, wildfire evacuations, trapped civilians, life-threatening scenarios. She had completed over 200 successful civilian rescue operations. Amelia's CAL FIRE training wasn't just firefighting. It included emergency medicine, civilian rescue, crisis management, wildfire behavior, and specialized life-saving skills. A fire captain must be a complete lifesaver, said training commander Captain Elise Moreau. In emergency situations, medic, rescue specialist, incident commander, maximum life-saving with minimal resources. Amelia had fully embraced this philosophy. civilian, focus operations, life preservation approach, emergency medical intervention, crisis situation management. Fire expertise was a perfect fit for a civilian medical application. The most critical training was civilian rescue simulations, house fires, wildfire evacuations, civilian entrapment scenarios, realistic emergency environments. Amelia had learned to conduct emergency rescues even in medical facility settings. During an operation at the campfire, they had rescued 23 trapped civilians simultaneously during the Paradise community evacuation. Amelia had combined fire behavior expertise with CAL FIRE rescue tactics to perform safe evacuation of 8 families. After that mission, she had become one of CAL FIRE's most valuable civilian rescue specialists. She had specifically received medical emergency rescue training and emergency medical intervention in fire zones. This training would be very useful in her medical career. After 10 years of active duty, Amelia decided to make a career change. Burnout symptoms, a desire for a normal life, and a commitment to civilian medical service led her to transition to trauma surgery. "Why are you leaving CAL FIRE?" her commander had asked. "Because I want to continue life-saving service in a peaceful medical environment. Same precision, fire-free setting." In medical school, Amelia was overqualified emergency response, crisis management, life-saving operations, but instructors didn't question her detailed CAL FIRE background. "I've always wanted to work in the medical emergency field," Amelia had said, "to provide medical help to people in emergency situations. Trauma surgery was a perfect match." The medical emergency environment felt familiar to Amelia. High-pressure decisions, life and death situations, precise timing, but civilian and peaceful. When St. Mary's Medical Center hired her, Amelia was an exceptional trauma surgeon. Patient care excellence, emergency composure, crisis management expertise, but no one knew her extraordinary wildfire rescue background. Monday morning, the 23rd of January. St. Mary's Medical Center was in chaos. The Palisades fire was in its 3rd day, and the hospital was overwhelmed with burn victims. The emergency department was working at overwhelming capacity. Amelia had been performing non-stop emergency surgeries for 18 hours. Dr. Harrington, another burn victim arriving, said overwhelmed nurse Sophia, "This is the 47th patient today. Prep or 3. I'll be there in 5 minutes," Amelia said in an exhausted but focused manner. "Amelia, you've been working for 18 hours. Don't you need a break?" asked concerned colleague Dr. Thornton. "People are dying out there. We can rest when the fire's contained," Amelia said in a determined tone. When the ambulance call came, Amelia responded as always. "Mrs. LeClaire, severe burns. Emergency surgery completed. Transport back to family." But this time, the transport route would go through the fire zone. "Dr. Harrington, this might be a dangerous route," said EMT Oliver nervously. "We've handled 47 burn cases today. One more transport won't stop us," Amelia said. But she knew much more about fire zones. The ambulance communication system activated. All units, Palisades, fire jumping, containment lines, Malibu Canyon Road blocked. Multiple civilians trapped. Immediate response began in the ambulance route assessment, emergency protocols, transition from routine transport to crisis response. "Amelia, wildfire situation, road blocked," said driver Isabel. "Copy," Amelia said. But Amelia was conducting fire behavior assessment, wind patterns analysis, fire spread evaluation, civilian evacuation probability. Emergency radio chatter continued. Multiple structure fires. Malibu Canyon residents trapped. Immediate rescue response needed. Amelia had detected specifics in wildfire behavioral patterns, Santa Ana wind indicators, rapid fire spread, high probability of civilian entrapment development. When Amelia looked at the fire zone from a tactical perspective through the ambulance window, she saw the seriousness of the situation. Other EMT staff were showing panic responses, but Amelia was moving for wildfire rescue assessment purposes. She understood the nature of the threat in the fire zone: active wildfire, residential area targeting, multiple civilians, potential victims, immediate rescue requirements. Each civilian had different entrapment levels, but coordination was critical. Amelia conducted an automatic wildfire situation evaluation, fire behavior assessment, civilian safety priority, rescue approach planning, evacuation response optimization, emergency rescue response plan, civilian extraction, implementation, life preservation, maximization, swift evacuation strategy. Amelia's behavior pattern completely changed. CAL FIRE tactical precision rescue operations, coordination, systematic fire assessment. The trauma surgeon disappeared. CAL FIRE incident commander activated. Amelia took the emergency rescue position in the ambulance. CAL FIRE training automatically activated. Rescue operation coordination began civilian threat assessment, evacuation priority determination, swift rescue optimization, trapped family, immediate danger situation, structure fire, smoke inhalation, escape route blocked, immediate rescue intervention required. Amelia immediately began rescue operation setup, fire zone, entry planning, civilian extraction strategy, safety protocol maximization. The EMT team was in hesitation mode. The fire department should rescue these civilians. Fire department is 20 minutes away. We activate immediate rescue now, Amelia said with full CAL FIRE authority. Amelia positioned herself in the incident command position, advanced wildfire rescue expertise versus standard medical emergency response. She began providing advanced rescue guidance in the fire zone emergency technique, professional evacuation coordination, civilian rescue management, trapped family, desperate situation, house fire advancing, children trapped upstairs, smoke filling structure, situation requiring immediate rescue response. Amelia's wildfire rescue expertise kicked in optimal evacuation approach calculation, fire behavior assessment, swift rescue tactics. The EMT team watched in amazement. The trauma surgeon was demonstrating advanced fire rescue, showing professional wildfire expertise. Family emergency mother, father, 2 children trapped, multiple escape routes blocked, smoke inhalation risk, immediate evacuation required. Amelia provided perfect rescue intervention, evacuation technique implementation, civilian safety direction, swift rescue coordination. Thanks to Amelia's expert rescue intervention, the emergency team successfully evacuated the trapped family. Multiple lives saved. Fire rescue completed. Civilians safe. Incredible, said the fire department coordinator. Are you a wildfire specialist? Amelia hesitated. Decision moment. Former CAL FIRE captain, incident commander, 200 plus successful civilian rescues, Amelia said quietly. Complete silence from the EMT team. The community's beloved trauma surgeon was actually an elite CAL FIRE rescue expert. CAL FIRE captain? You were a wildfire rescue specialist? EMT Oliver asked in amazement. 10 years active duty wildfire suppression, civilian rescue, emergency evacuation operations specialist. Emergency crews were grateful for her expert rescue intervention. Ma'am, professional rescue coordination saved the entire family's lives. The rescued family learned of Amelia's heroism. Mother Madeline was very emotional. Dr. Harrington, I didn't know you were a firefighter, but I always felt you were very brave. Madeline, I'm still the same person, still a trauma surgeon, still here for medical care. The community expressed gratitude. Amelia's rescue saved our entire family. Now we know why. Amelia continued normal medical duties, but colleagues saw her differently, respect mixed with admiration. How do you transition from CAL FIRE to trauma surgeon? Asked young Dr. Lydia. Both jobs are related to life-saving. Different environments, same mission. Amelia's former CAL FIRE teammates learned the news. Messages and phone calls came from all over California. Heard about the wildfire civilian rescue, classic Harrington rescue precision, once CAL FIRE, always lifesaver. Proud of your service in medical life. Retired Commander Captain Moreau called personally. Amelia, I'm proud of you. Perfect rescue response under civilian conditions. Captain, I just did what our training taught us, protecting civilian safety. Exactly what we were trained for. Life-saving service continues in different forms. Amelia's story isn't just about rescue heroism. It's about the evolution of a life-saving service spirit, the medical application of CAL FIRE rescue skills. From CAL FIRE to trauma surgery, from wildfire rescue to medical emergency care, from fire operations to compassionate patient treatment, always life-saving service. CAL FIRE taught me to fight. Medicine taught me to heal. The community taught me that both skills are valuable. When wildfire rescue survivors see Amelia, they say, real lifesavers don't abandon the fight. They find new missions worth life-saving. Amelia's rescue precision that day was the medical application of CAL FIRE training wildfire rescue expertise, applied in a civilian emergency. I'm no longer a firefighter, but the life-saving spirit never ends. Service continues. Mission changes. People will understand in the future. Protective love takes many forms. So I ask you, do you know CAL FIRE veterans who quietly serve in your medical community? Those with hidden firefighter rescue backgrounds quietly contributing in civilian medicine? Share your experiences in the comments, because at Hidden Legends, we believe the greatest lifesavers usually serve in the most critical moments. If this story touched you, share it, subscribe, and help these important veteran stories continue. See you in the next legend. And remember, next time you see a wildfire emergency, medical crisis, or rescue operation, you might encounter medical workers with CAL FIRE rescue backgrounds. Real heroes transform their service forms, but life-saving precision is eternal.